julep, pop 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 julep, pop 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 julep, pop 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 pop.
What's up, Justin? And we got the nerd in the house.
Hey,
How you guys doing today?
pretty good yourself.
Pretty good. I'm friggin' exhausted. I was telling Justin last night that I went hiking today and did 12 and a half miles, and I am just beat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
I guess you're.
it was just as bad as it sounds.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Um,
Well, you got more exercise than I did.
yeah, anything good today? What did you do today? Busy working, I guess.
No, not me. Actually, I had to deal with. I blew the engine in my car yesterday.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I did
So
that back.
Yeah,
you,
that could not have been fun.
That's horrible. I
Yeah.
did that on Thanksgiving. Thank God they covered it under warranty, but it was a mess.
Yeah, I got no warranty on mine, but I think there was a recall, and so I think it might still work out in our favor.
That's what ended up happening with me. I have a Kia Optima, and they did a recall on it a couple of years ago, and it gave the engine a lifetime warranty. So when it threw a rod through the engine, they actually, to my surprise, replaced it.
Wow.
Ah, yeah.
Are you guys getting any echo on my end?
Nope, none here.
Okay,
I'm hearing a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, it just sounds like brassy.
Yeah.
What's up,
I don't know
Chubbs?
why.
We'll give some time for some people. It's a weird time, after dinner. I record these though anyway and pin it up in the group, so it doesn't even matter if that many people are in it. People will get to watch it afterwards, and I'll post it to YouTube and tweet it. And I'm actually a part of another private group of investors. I'll post it in there for you guys as well.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So you guys are launching when? End of April, beginning of May?
Oh, our project?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're live. We've been live for, I don't know, what would you say, 2019?
Yeah, it was March 2019 when the first bit went live.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just looking over your white paper again, and I was just like, well, wait a second. I thought they launched a while ago. So you guys have been at it for a while now. What are some tips that made your launch and afterwards successful?
Well, what kind of made everything successful was really the simplicity and the speed of everything, the ease of mining LiteCash, and when it was launched, we were one of the first. Well, we were the first fork of Beam. And then there were other coins that came along afterwards that were using the Mimblewimble protocol. So there was Mimblewimble coin, what was Grin, and Beam, and maybe a couple others. But we were the first fork of Beam, and lightning fast.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, LiteCash, what we really honed in on was the fact that we have really good speed and it's really efficient. The blockchain is very light, and in that case can be very scalable to do what we want to do. And the transaction fees, we also have very low transaction fees and no dev fee, and it was a fair launch, so a pretty fair project. So that's also very appealing to a lot of people. So you couple that with the privacy aspect, and essentially you have a project that can mimic physical fiat cash that can be used daily without any lag or high fees. So definitely attractive on those fronts.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely sounds like it. Now, I'm hearing a lot of echo here. I'm hearing for some people that there's echo on this. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave this for a second. Let me try logging back in. I'm going to unplug my microphone. I'm definitely getting some feedback here, and we'll get started. I'll give you guys the floor.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let me try lowering it a little. Chubbs, is that?
Yeah,
that's way better.
Does that sound better, Chubbs? I hear a little echo, but not as bad. Yeah, he said it sounds better. So let me ask you, from somebody who has no experience with Beam, why don't you let everybody know, if they're not familiar with it, what Beam actually is?
You can take that one.
Yeah, well, Beam is essentially a cryptocurrency like a lot of others, of course, but it was one of the first ones that used the Mimblewimble protocol, which is a slightly different protocol in the in the blockchain arena, where it uses things like peer-to-peer transactions, in the sense that you can get the or the data of the transaction is primarily removed from the blockchain itself, so you don't have like the sending and the receiving addresses. It's very difficult to track transactions. We also have like in LiteCash, one of the features that we kept was the both wallets for us to send from one to the other have to be on. So the benefit of that is if you're sending a transaction, unlike Bitcoin, where if you send a sum of currency to another wallet that is, an incorrect address or an invalid address of some sort, that just kind of goes out into the ether, and you lose it. Well, with Mimble, with our implementation, and which came from Beam originally, when we say if you send, well, first off, our wallet actually validates an address partially to say, okay, that's in a valid format for the LiteCash network, or it's not. And then the sending wallet goes out, tries to connect to the receiving wallet. If the receiving wallet is on, all good, it goes out and it sends, and everything's fine. If the receiving wallet is not on, it will remain in a sending state for about 12 hours. So it gives a chance for the receiver to turn their wallet on. But if they don't turn their wallet on in that period of time, the currency gets sent back to the sender.
Really?
So there's, yeah. So if you don't, if you send to an incorrect address or an address that's no longer valid, you get your coins returned. You don't lose anything. It doesn't, go off into the ether, into outer space somewhere.
Wow, what a peace of mind, because I'm sure you can remember too with the earlier days when you were sending Bitcoin, it would take a half hour to go to where you wanted to send it, and you'd be wondering, oh my God, did I mess something up, and is it just gone forever? That was scary.
Yeah, and I've actually have lost coins that way. So it really attracted me when I got involved with LiteCash, knowing that I had that safety net where if I were to send it and God forbid it was the wrong address or whatever have you, defunct wallet, that I was going to get those coins back. And it also, ensures that there's no lost coins within the LiteCash ecosystem. So I really do enjoy that feature.
That's an awesome feature. And was that implemented on launch?
Yeah, that was on launch, and actually, if I'm just looking in chat here to answer the question that Chubbs posted, that's essentially that's one of the things that it does. It will eliminate like dusting, so it's one of those things that it's one of those features that, depend on who you talk to, there are people who don't like that feature. Personally, I love it because, again, you avoid things like dusting. You avoid losing your coins off into the ether, and that also works well because one of the other things that LiteCash does is we use wallet addresses that expire. So, for example, a newly created address is valid for 24 hours only unless otherwise specified. So, generally speaking, it's either 24 hours or never expires. So, that's another thing that is really good. So, unlike some other cryptocurrencies, your wallet address is not really tied to your wallet. So it's tied to your wallet in the sense that your coins go where they need to go and go into the right wallet, and the receiver gets them. But it's not like a lot of other wallets where you create a wallet, you instantly get an address, and that address is permanent forever. So you can rotate your wallets, your wallet addresses when you create a send transaction. It will automatically generate a new address that expires in 24 hours. And, you can send to and from that address, but then once that 24 hours has gone by, that address is, will no longer accept anything. And it's, you can see it in the history of your wallet, but it's like that address no longer exists on the network. And so it's another feature that you can use so that you can't, so that you don't, Sorry, I'm
It's
getting
essentially a
distracted
privacy
looking at
feature.
yeah, yeah. I'm getting distracted looking in chat too. So
Now,
Yeah, it's another just added feature.
yeah, somebody asked me in the chat, sending and receiving wallet are managed by your chain. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Somebody asked in chat, sending and receiving wallet are managed by your chain. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're our own separate blockchain.
Now, let me
So
ask
we're
you.
not.
I mean, this sounds so great. Why aren't more projects, using this, type of technology?
That's a good question. I guess that's what really makes us stand out. So we're not really upset that we're a cryptocurrency that uses it. But there are other privacy crypto projects out there. I think the privacy space is very young, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people don't understand how important it is to have your finances privatized.
Yeah.
And I think as we evolve into a more digitized world, as we're seeing, and it's moving very fast, that privacy is going to be slipping away from us, and you're really going to want to be going into privacy when you're talking about your finances. Like right now, if I wanted to make a transaction and go buy something, and I don't want everyone knowing what I'm purchasing, if it's just an Apple, you're entitled to that privacy, and I could just do that with cash, like physical fiat, hand them, dollar bills. But in the privacy space, we have the opportunity to do that with cryptocurrency, where it used to be that way with Bitcoin, so people had thought. But now you can start to track cryptocurrencies like that. Anything that's on chain, you could pretty much track. So LiteCash has that peace of mind. It's just an added layer of privacy, and we're all, I think, entitled to that in the cryptocurrency space or in any space for that matter. So
yeah, it sounds like sounds like some tokens are kind of starting to get into this space. Like Shield Coin just launched not that long ago, offering cryptocurrency insurance. Serenity Shield is launching in the next couple months. Doing some different things with it. So it seems like a lot of tokens are starting to get into that privacy and security sector of crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. And for us, it's great that we've been in it for a while now, and we're really laying out the groundwork to make it successful, getting our user base and integrating plugins that we need to for e-commerce and stuff like that. So to be a little bit much more of a jumpstart on everything is definitely helping out.
That's awesome. Now, being that this is, kind of a, newer kind of niche that you guys are in here, what are some, difficulties that you guys have, faced that, maybe you didn't expect, with implementing this type of, project with these type of features?
Well, one of the things that we do face is, like, for example, people are accustomed to using a cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever that, again, you don't have to have the wallet on, you don't have to really actively participate in that transaction if you're the receiver. So it's, some people are having a bit of trouble trying to adjust to, leaving that wallet on. Especially if it's someone who wants to accept LiteCash, let's say in an online shop or something. We do have integrations with cryptocurrency checkout now, which will allow people to websites to accept LiteCash as payment, along with a number of other cryptos. But that's one of the issues where people are just having a hard time kind of adjusting to being able to leave that, or wanting to leave that wallet on. Which really, I guess most of us probably in this space have multiple computers, whatever, you can leave. And I mean, really, the wallet's very lightweight. It doesn't take a lot of resources on your system or anything. Leaving your wallet on will help strengthen the network because it runs as a node on the network as well.
Okay.
So it adds redundancy to the network. There's other things where, our project is essentially like, we don't have like an official governing body. We're not backed by a corporation. We're not, we're just a bunch of volunteers that are interested in crypto, interested in the privacy part of crypto and the security. So some of the things that we do run into is when you don't have those business structures in place, it does make it somewhat difficult to get yourself integrated with some of, like, let's say, the major exchanges or the major services out there, because they want you to provide business information or, certain types of legal documents, that kind of thing, which we, because of what we are and who we are, some of those things are things that we don't have at the moment, right? So, those are some challenges, and we all know what's happening in the world today with, governments and stuff trying to regulate everything. It does, it makes it a little more difficult for privacy focused projects to kind of get integrated with certain things and get involved in certain things, because the government wants to track what people are doing and where the funds are going.
Do you think that the government can really put regulations on DeFi?
Honestly, it's something that I personally don't think that's going to fully happen. I just don't think that they even have the resources to even track this exploding movement in finance. So
yeah,
personally, I don't think that they're going to be able to do it effectively. That's not to say that maybe 10 years down the line they could do it effectively. But that gives everyone time to put everything in place to make sure you're abiding by the guidelines and all that stuff, to make sure you're, within the confines of whatever the government wants, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they're certainly going to try to do it, and different governments, different countries are going to do it in different ways, and most of them are just going to screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. 99% of these politicians that make the rules, if they know anything about crypto, they only know Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum. They have no idea about all the other shit that's going on out there, let alone how to effectively regulate it. At least that's just my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of these, politicians that are doing these kind of things would be, the high tech to them is dial up. So
yeah.
Yep, I deal with. Yeah.
Cleo McDowell in the group wants to know. He says he sees metaverse projects galore eroding privacy. Gamers are attacked a lot on privacy issues. He sees a good match there. Is that something that you would feel that this would be a good match for? The services that you're providing?
Absolutely. And actually, we do have an Unreal Engine plugin created by Cleo, and he did that for us, and it works amazing. You could essentially have your LiteCash stored in the metaverse and use it in the metaverse, and actually have a wallet in that metaverse to transact for stuff you do in the metaverse. And you can actually take it from there and pull it out into real life, into a different wallet that's, let's say, on your phone or computer. So it's very fluent in the way that it could be used in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I only kind of reviewed your project a little bit. I read over your white paper, and it just seems so, complicated to me, who's not very technical. But, just hearing you explain it, I just see the value in this, and I really hope that other projects and other teams, start kind of, catching on with this kind of stuff, because this sounds like it's the future.
Well, we certainly think it is, and I mean, we're very. I think one of the things that we at LiteCash really like to focus on is, you look at all these big cryptos that are out. Like, you look at the Ethereums, and you look at the Binance Smart Chain. You look at all these smart chains, which they do some really amazing things, but there's a lot of projects that try to do everything and don't do really anything in particular that well. So for us, what we want to focus on, what we're good at, maintaining that lightning speed and that low fees, as well as focusing on the privacy and the security of it, and really being a utility in the sense that, you know, we're being used for what we are really good at, for, you know, being that private and being that fast. Because I mean, I don't know if anybody in the group has tried, you know, transferring LiteCash, but for example, when you initiate a transaction, if the receiver is online, the receiver and the sender connect generally within 4 to 5 seconds, and the transaction completes in under a minute, usually from beginning to end. So, I mean, it's really great for that everyday kind of use. I mean, who's going to go? Who's going to go to the you know, to the corner store and buy whatever, a bottle of pop or a bag of chips or something, and, you know, pay with Bitcoin, and, you know, sit there and wait a half an hour for that, you know, transaction to confirm? Whereas, you know, with LiteCash, you know, theoretically you could easily use that as a point of sale kind of thing too, right? Because it's fast enough that, I mean, it's not instantaneous, but it's extremely fast compared to mostly everything else, and you could easily use that as a point of sale solution.
So
And honestly,
what
the
is
good thing
this?
of
Go ahead. I was going to ask you. So what do you think is the key to taking this next step and, you know, really getting it integrated with, you know, different shops and different locations to really start accepting it on a widespread scale?
so really on that front, it's really just awareness, and we are constantly looking at different ways to market the project. I think right now the industry is taken quite a turn, so it's going to be really hard to try to get people back down to basics on cryptocurrency actually being used as money. So that's kind of something that we're kind of working on right now. And it's really just going to come down to awareness and getting people to use it. I know a lot of people that they don't know what's going on until they use it, and then as soon as they use it, they're like, "Wow, this is eons beyond Bitcoin's functionality." So it's really going to just take talking to shops. It's going to be, you know, really from the ground up movement to try to get people to use it and process it.
Yeah, I hear you. Like, so let me ask you then, who are some of your competitors? You know, I'm sure you guys have some competitors in this space, right?
We do, and there's other projects. People like to cross us with Epic Hash a lot. I think we're very different in our views, and I think we're different, and we serve different purposes. So I don't know if that's like a direct competition. What really sets us apart from the privacy space is that we're just better suited for everyday utility, whether it's our max cap on coin generation, it's a little bit higher. You know, we're not sitting low at 21 million, which down the line, it becomes a problem. You know, if your coin becomes too expensive, it makes it harder to transact, and it's not scalable really. Stuff like that just really sets us apart. So I would say any privacy coin, we're pretty much, you know, as our competitor. It's just we have a different kind of use case and edge on current projects, which is why LiteCash was forked in the first place. Yeah. So it's just that different kind of view in getting back to what we wanted, and that's essentially speed, privacy, and basically non-existent fees. We keep saying low fees, but it really is non-existent. It's like 0.00000 something like cash. So
really low.
Yeah, it's a lot of zeros.
And I mean, theoretically, you can. Well, I say theoretically. In practice, you can go into the wallet. You can define what you want to pay for a fee, and you can specify 0 as the fee, and your transaction will still process.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean, that's one of those things that you know, is kind of a little hidden gem there. But it's like Justin said, you know, some of these coins that have a lower total circulating amount, you know, make it much more difficult to transact on a daily basis, where you have to transact in, you know, Satoshis for Bitcoin or whatever. You know, we have kind of the same level of denomination. We can go down to we call them CSATs. And you know, our general in the Windows wallet, the default fee is 10 CSAT, so it's, you know, it's next to nothing. And it just makes it like so much easier to use, and you don't have to, like you look at something like Ethereum and you want to send $35 to your buddy and you got to pay $15 in
It's
gas
crazy.
fees.
It is just absolutely crazy. It's just barbaric, even going back to those days. I don't mess with anything in Ethereum. Kevin wants to know: is there any plans for a LiteCash stable dollar?
So that would be, I mean, we have talked about wrapping it inside like the BSC chain network. We do have we technically do in the Turtle network, I believe. Right, Nerd?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we do have we are on Turtle Network, which allows us to do some pretty interesting things. So the exchange that we've been working with over there is called Polarity. It's just polarity.exchange. Great folks. Everything's, their entire exchange is built on Turtle Network. So we have a gateway so that when we transfer coins into the Polarity exchange, when we transfer LiteCash in, they automatically generate a 1-to-1 ratio of LiteCash tokens on the Turtle Network. And then with that, of course, you can use their decentralized exchange. You can use the Turtle Network DEX. You can there's a whole bunch of different services that you can use through there. All kinds of neat little things like tipping bots and stuff that can be, and it also allows us to have a whole slew of trading pairs on the Turtle Network as well. And then when you want to take them out, you can just pull them out through Polarity, and you get, if you had 1,000 LiteCash on Polarity or on the Turtle Network, you get 1,000 LiteCash in your wallet on the way out.
That's really cool. Me and Justin have been talking over the last, couple weeks, and he was like, you want to make a video, and I'm just like, I'll be honest with you, you guys are going to do a hell of a lot better of a job, explaining this out than me. I'm just going to end up sounding like an idiot. So, you guys have definitely done a great job with, really kind of explaining it down to like a bare bones utility for sure.
And I also I'm going to give him a little shout out here, but our friend EJ from the Ever Reflect token team is listening in here as well, and that's another group. That's another group that we've been working with, and we've had some discussions with on kind of partnering up for various various endeavors and whatnot. So just wanted to give a shout out to our friend EJ.
Yeah, I saw him lurking there too. I was going to try to get him involved at some point. He's a great friend of not only the channel but to me also. So, what's up there, EJ? How you doing tonight? We're gonna put you on the spot.
That's so funny because I literally have been like listening, but kind of working as I'm listening. And then all of a sudden I heard somebody say EJ in the background. I was like, wait, what?
You can't lurk.
What up, guys?
Calling you in.
Right. Yeah. No. So cool that you guys are all making connections. I knew when I met Justin and the Nerd, which was only about 2 months ago, but it feels like it was frickin' 2014.
I know.
These guys
you do so much throughout the day. It's like you feel like a year's gone by. It's only been a week.
Right. Yeah. I've been working with one of our creative directors, Noodles, on our launches for Friday. So, but going back to LiteCash stuff, like just meeting you guys, like you guys have good heads on your shoulders. And the cool part about what you guys are doing is the fact is you're crossing over the chains, but then taking time to like learn about RBSC tokens, and then and in my case, holding my hand a little bit to understand like, oh wow, let me know your world and the swaps that you're on and the exchanges you're on. Have done intros for some of the exchanges that you guys looking at wrapping tokens with EVRF on other exchanges, and it's powerful stuff because as much as I always preach that we need to do the Unite DeFi, it extends well beyond just the few reflection tokens that we're always kind of chatting with. And even though that's what we know, and that's kind of like our safe little like bubble and home, it's cool to be able to expand, and that you guys are taking the time to kind of cross over. And it's powerful stuff because we're all learning, on a constant, on a daily basis. And where you guys are at and what you're doing, I mean, we've emulated a few things, led us down directions with even like WooCommerce checkouts that now we're implementing into both EverChart, EverPay, EverTix, EverConnect, like all of these sites, based around the V1s of those are based around conversations and directions I've gotten from these guys. So much appreciated to them as always.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I always love getting to know anybody and everybody from various projects, and after EJ and Justin and I spoke the first time, I'll be transparent. I bought into some Reflect, and I haven't looked back. I mean, it's great. I know we're, I mean, it's great just, getting to know everybody and on both sides, on the token side and on, the different chains and whatever. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. And the great thing is that it's two different worlds, right? Just like EJ was saying, and you have us, that's a standalone blockchain. And then you have the BSC network, which is so big that does all this cool stuff with reflections and stuff like that. I mean, bridging the two is a great concept that we're constantly trying to think of doing, and how do we execute that, and to get privacy as well as utility use daily for daily transactions. And then you can, go back and forth between going back into reflections and getting more BUSD. And it's just awesome all the way around to try to really wrap this all together as a cool package.
Yeah, it really is. And it's cool. And it's cool on my end to, get to talk to all these different people. Like I did an AMA a couple weeks ago with a token that's on the Solana chain, which I knew absolutely nothing about. But, just like hearing about it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That definitely runs a little bit different than what I'm used to.
And what the other part about this is, it's like, everybody in crypto, because of the fact that things move so fast and new ideas are formulated, by the minute, in all honesty, it's great when you meet similar personalities of people that have work ethic, that realize, like, you don't become a pro golfer. You don't become a Scotty winning the Masters in just a couple months. Like, it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of consistency. It takes a lot of learning, a lot of failure, a lot of testing, a lot of just going back and getting up every day and constantly working on it. And I will say that of the Nerd and Justin, two guys that will never stop. Like, I'm putting together YouTube stuff right now for Friday, and one of the ones that popped up was the John Wood Green Life Energy, like one of his AMAs. And it's amazing that you meet these people and we cross over, and you guys have that kind of passion too, where it inspires you, because you're like, cool, I know, who cares where the fucking chart is right now, because of the fact that we're going to never give up. And that's why John's a great friend, and so are you guys. That's what it takes, though. Like, you can't win the Masters unless you go out and you frickin' hit a ton of range balls, and that you're practicing your putting and you're practicing your sand shots. Like, there's so much that goes into it daily, consistently. And no matter what, I know that LiteCash will be like that on the other side, because you guys do work your asses off doing this stuff.
And,
and we really do. Oh yeah, no, and we really do, and the Nerd's really good at just constantly being on Telegram. I'm constantly on Telegram. We're constantly responding to people's questions, or if they have issues. It's like a 24/7 support, and it's just really us. And then we have other people that are part of our Cash Council that kind of control the project. Cleo's awesome. He does so much on the dev side, and we just all constantly are just working to make this project what it should be. And I'm definitely dedicated to make it, everything it can be. So I'm not stopping anytime soon, for sure.
Yeah, and as an investor, it's important to recognize these things, that even though especially in BSC, everything is just in the shitter right now. And the tokens that have the utility for real world things are the ones that are going to bounce back once everything kind of starts getting implemented with their utilities, and the market improves a little bit. But those projects that really don't have any real world use, they're going to be the ones that are going to continue to struggle. And it's important to do your research and really learn which ones are which.
Absolutely. And that's why I think, with us, we have a different mindset, as opposed to like going into the BSC chain. And I think it's really awesome what those everyone in Unite DeFi is doing. You guys all have, or they all have different ideas and utilities to keep generating revenue, which is absolutely amazing. I first learned about reflection tokens, obviously because of Evergrow, but looking into other projects, I mean, there's so many out there that are doing all these different kinds of things, whether it's green energy or ticketing with, events in the entertainment industry. I think that's all really awesome. And it's constant revenue you can constantly be taking. And even if you were to take that revenue that you gain, and if you throw it into maybe a private coin that you can use to buy goods and services daily, I mean, it's a perfect all around circle. It's really awesome to try to, make it all go together, like I've said. So it's going to be really fun to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting for sure. It's an exciting time to be involved in crypto. This year has definitely been, kind of tough, but hopefully, eventually soon it will start to bounce back, and we'll start to see some good numbers. I'm going to open it up to some questions here. We've got a lot of information going on this AMA. We got a lot of questions answered and just, a lot of good things covered. So you guys can unmute any questions that you may have. Let me check the chat.
Yeah, I was just checking myself.
I think you answered so many questions that
I know. I know we kind of just went off on a tangent and answered a ton of questions that were not even asked yet.
Justin and I have a tendency to... Go ahead.
We do this a lot.
Yeah.
The nerd and I do this a lot.
You could tell you do. I mean, I was going to kind of sit back and just let you guys kind of do your thing. I had buzzards circling me today while I was hiking up that mountain of 12 miles, man. I was dying by the time I was up at the top of it. I didn't know if I was even going to make it back. I saw flies and buzzards circling me. I'm like, oh, man, I'm done for. But I just been exhausted. But you guys have definitely rejuvenated me to, have this conversation. It's been a great conversation for sure.
Awesome. I'm glad you had us on, and I definitely love doing AMAs because it just definitely gets a lot of questions answered that I'm sure people have about our project.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing the AMAs as well. Obviously, I kind of got started with review videos and talking about different tokens and all. But my passion is definitely not only doing AMAs but actually just like formal interviews with teams and all, and just really digging down and finding out all the information on you guys.
Yeah. And like, if anyone has any questions beyond this AMA, definitely join our Telegram group and just, ask away, because the nerd and I are always going to give you an answer.
Awesome, man. That's really exciting. That's really exciting. I'll definitely pin this. I'm going to pretty the video up, get ready to do an intro on it and everything, post it up to YouTube and tweet it, and I'll pin it up in my room so everybody can kind of check it out later. I have a lot of European subs and members, so a lot of guys are sleeping right now, but they always check out all the stuff that's going on in the room. So you'll definitely get the word out to a lot of people for sure with this great of a AMA that you guys just did for sure.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we have people on our team and on the LiteCash side from we have a few Europeans there as well, and there's people from all over that help us out with various we kind of have we have a core group of people that kind of steer the direction of how we're going to do take things, but we have so many people in there that are just willing to and ready to answer questions, help out, troubleshoot, whatever. And I mean, honestly, our software, our wallets and stuff are so easy to use that once you download it and open it up and go through the first 2 or 3 minutes of setting up your wallet, it's bing bang boom, done, and away you go. I mean, it's simple. Yeah. And I would like to quickly touch on a point that Cleo mentioned in chat there as well. So we do have the a feature called SVBS, which in theory you could even use LiteCash outside of the internet through some sort of like dial-up network, that kind of thing. So there's possibilities there too, as kind of like a fail-safe, because we never know what's going to happen in the future with everything going on in the world, right? So if something were to happen to internet in general, or if people decided they wanted to use this outside of the internet, that is possible as well.
Really? So you'd be able to use this outside of internet?
Yeah, I would probably have to defer more of that to see if Cleo has any additional information that he wants to type in chat there. But he's the one that knows the most about that. But in theory, you can.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that could really change the world, especially for areas, that don't have access to great internet. We like to think that everybody, has, the high speed, internet, but, in reality, not everybody does.
Yeah. Yeah. And to answer to Tevin here as well, we don't currently have any Bluetooth or AirDrop capability within the like the Android wallets or anything like that at present. It may be something in that we could look into in the future, but currently it's not something we have.
Now, your token is actually one of the ones that are able to be mined for, correct?
Yes.
I didn't hear you mention anything about that. We definitely have some technical people who are interested in mining. If you want to just go over that real quick before we get off.
Yeah. So we I guess a traditional blockchain, we do use mining algorithm, and in this case, we use what was originally dubbed as Beam Hash 1. It's a variant of ETH hash, and we have a couple of mining pools. We have one that the project runs, gibs.cash. And we also have on coinmine.pl, we have a mining pool there as well. And shameless plug, I just posted the link to our mining pool in the chat there. But generally, you can mine it with any off-the-shelf graphics cards, NVIDIA, AMD, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can find
them. Yeah. Well, and honestly, one of the cool things is that you can still mine LiteCash with older GPUs. So I have a rig that I mine LiteCash with. I have more than one rig. I do a fair bit of mining myself, but I have a mining rig that has 3 GTX 1070s and 1060. So those cards are a few years old now. They still, they're not as efficient as a lot of the new ones, but they do well, and you can still make a decent amount of LiteCash on those older cards. And as Cleo mentioned, we're about a year left, a little over a year left until we have another halving, which means basically that the mining rewards per block are cut in half. Same type of thing as Bitcoin, Ethereum, all those guys do. Yeah.
Nice. That's really exciting for sure. Yeah, I had kind of looked into. I had done a little bit of mining on my laptop, but obviously, CPU's as slow as can be. And then I started looking into graphic cards, and I mean, the secondary market on that is just absolutely crazy because it's just so hard to get them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's been tough over these last couple of years to get any kind of mining gear. I haven't bought any new gear in a while, but the last time I did, I literally had to watch a Twitch stream that would announce when new cards were dropped at various retailers, and I managed to get 3 cards that way.
Yeah, I tried to do a little helium mining myself, and it was like the same kind of thing. You got to wait for the drops, and then you got to have 4 or 5 devices going, hitting checkout, for an hour and a half to maybe be one of the 10% to get one.
Yeah. And then, of course, NVIDIA decided to pull their whole, like, we're going to cripple the mining on their new cards. So they have the low hash rate cards. And I mean, there's some unlocking mechanisms and stuff like that seem to be somewhat working, or at least some miners that are able to deal with that a little bit more efficiently. But if they can make it, somebody's going to break it.
Yeah, the gamers are pissed, man. They don't want all the crypto miners to be getting the cards. The gamers are pissed.
Yeah, I know. I had a few people throw some cuss words at me, when I got my latest round of cards.
Yeah, I bet, man. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me, for sure. We got a lot of good information out there, and I can't wait to post this and to get it pinned so everybody can watch it. I'm definitely going to push the hell out of it because I think this is definitely an AMA that people really need to listen to, especially if they weren't necessarily familiar with you guys kind of coming into it. Nikos is in the room there for Serenity Shield. They're in the security space and all. They got some good stuff that they're working on the Solana network. Hey, Nikos, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike, how's things? I'm well, thanks.
Good. We're just wrapping up the AMA right now, but Justin the Nerd just shared a lot of information about their project. I'm not sure if you're familiar with LiteCash or not.
No, but I will make it a point in the morning to give it a listen to the playback.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you I'll send you the video once it gets edited and all, but they're definitely in the security space, and they're working on some really awesome things. It's definitely really exciting and definitely something you'd be interested in for sure.
Would love to learn more. Actually, thanks for that. I must have been a calling. I don't know. I just saw the little live chat icon appear on my phone, so I thought I'll press, but I've just obviously missed it. So I look forward to listening back, guys.
What are you doing up this hour? It's like 3 a.m. where you are, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's only it was 1:45, so I'm actually just going to bed in the next 5 minutes. So I'm just wrapping up for the.
Well, nice to meet you, Nikos.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah. If you have any questions about LiteCash, feel free to. I think someone dropped a link to our Telegram in there, and if you have any questions or you want to speak with either Justin or myself or anything, we're always open.
Yeah, Serenity Shield.
Legend. I will do that.
Yeah, Serenity Shield's working on some really exciting stuff with being able to, recover your wallet if you lose your passphrase, your key phrase, and stuff like that, and in case of an untimely death and stuff like that. So they're working on some really cool stuff too.
Cool. Well, like Justin and I said earlier on, we're always open to speaking with anybody, talking to anybody, even if it's just throwing around ideas to help each other out. We're always open to that. It's not, we don't
how this space works.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things in the privacy space, we've encountered a lot of, kind of competition, and some, not so friendly things kind of going on between different projects and stuff. And we definitely try to, we do our thing. The other people can do their thing. We're proud of what we have, and we're always willing to share and help others. It's not a competition for us. Every coin, every token has its value and has its space, right?
Absolutely, and that's definitely the way we've looked at it since the beginning. Every coin's got the way that they want to do things, and every coin has a certain use case, and we have ours, and that's what we want to stick to. So that doesn't make our coin better than the next privacy coin project, and other privacy guys will argue against the other way and say you're not as good as we are, but then again we solve different use cases, so you can't really compare it because it's not apples to apples.
I like that, guys. The philosophy of the team is what I personally look for myself, and I know that that's one of the things we do in our team as well. We don't see the space as something we should be trying to compete. We should actually be trying to kind of bolster each other and try to kind of build a robust system for everyone that works across the board. The fact that we've all got different solutions and different ideas, it just goes to show the strength of the space. And collaboration for us is the key to success. So, yeah, please, I've just sent you a DM. So I normally don't DM people, but because we're on at the same time, I've done that. Send me a link over, guys, and I'll touch base.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
I already sent the link your way, so feel free to DM me anytime or join us in chat, whatever you're interested in, Eagles.
So that's what we do.
Appreciate
We
it,
bring
guys.
projects together here at Dirty Mike Crypto. I'm kind of an interloper with so many different projects that, I tend to try to break down walls between people. Obviously we all have our own little groups and stuff like that. And, some are a little bit stricter with others of mentioning other projects and all. But it's like, come on, these guys are different. You guys could be, working together and, kind of collaborating. And that's something that EJ works very hard with, Chris to do on a almost weekly basis, and it's important because that's going to assure that the strong projects survive, and then the 90% of other shit tokens out there kind of fade away over time, and then you have a whole slew of legitimate projects out there.
Yep, I agree with you 100% on that one.
Hey, can I pipe in for just 2 seconds? There was a really good comment that happened in one of the last weeks or two with the Unite DeFi stuff, and somebody had asked the question about with these projects and the people that you have up here all the time, do you guys feel that it's required that people should have more than one audit of, say, your contract? And everybody kind of went around the room and we were kind of talking about hey, yeah, it's a great idea and whatnot. But one of the best comments I thought that kind of got lost in all that was, we are literally doing that right now. That we have to, it doesn't matter what blockchain you're on, but we really have to kind of protect each other. And by default, you're protecting your space and you're kind of vetting and almost, in essence, auditing one another. Maybe it's not necessarily like line 13 of the right code on BSC scan, but it shows a lot as far as us being able to really have honest conversations, vet each other, be able to get people's mindsets and what they're trying to do with these projects and really what they're trying to do. And then the capabilities really of kind of driving a contract or driving a token, because there's so many out there that, it isn't always just a bad contract. It can also be a bad team or a bad leader or a bad, decision to maybe change one modification on a contract. So I appreciate all you guys doing all of this repeatedly day in and day out, because we in essence are auditing each other every day, making sure that we're bringing in the right alliances and the right people. And that to me, I think just shows safety in the space, that no matter what token, and you guys were a part even of the Unite DeFi NCAA bracket. And I was saying how that was such an amazing turnaround of people that wanted to contribute to just like the winnings. And we had the 10 tokens that contributed, and those 10 tokens, the value is right around $5,000 at the beginning of March. And by April, it didn't matter, some tokens went up, some tokens went down for sure. But if you just took our 10 projects from March 1st through April 1st, the increase went from 5,000 to 8,300. And that's a pretty awesome and, just like number to think about, that okay, all of us are vetting each other. All of us are making sure these projects are safe. We're all working together, and consistency is going to be the key over and over. But even that return, that's so much better than what I've done on some of the other launches that I've tried to buy or thought that I could trade, or I thought knew was going to be big hype, and then it just fails. Like the consistency going back, buying tokens of projects of hardworking people that are going to be constantly working for the scenes is the way to do it.
I like that, EJ. You kind of gave me an idea, man. That would be awesome for somebody to be able to put together like an ETF of DeFi tokens, kind of like that, to buy into a pool of all those different tokens, just like you said with the NCAA pool, how it grew so much, because it was the power of the 10 tokens all together. I mean, that would be an awesome idea for DeFi.
In anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is a great idea.
So, we will eventually end up doing something along those lines. I think once Chris and I basically, and Tote and Kevin obviously as well, really kind of vetted out, because we say all the time that we hate these projects that are just like, this is a charity coin or this is just a fundraising coin. Not because of the fundraiser or not because of the charity, right? But because of the intentions behind it, that so often it gets misconstrued with like, okay, this is just going to be used for something that maybe isn't the cause or it's not right. So we want to really protect that Unite DeFi kind of brand and name and do things strategically that will benefit all the tokens, that would protect the pools for all the projects. And that's really the mantra of this. And LiteCash is a part of Unite DeFi as much as any DSC project, no question.
It's cool because this started off as just an AMA, and it's actually almost turned into a mini Unite DeFi. I mean, we got 4 different tokens, represented here. I got mine with Tevin that we're launching at the end of the month, but we got Nikos with Serenity Shield, Ever Reflect, and you guys. I think we got a pretty good flow and on to something here. I'd be interested in doing this again with you guys if you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm certainly interested.
Yeah.
Count me in.
Yeah, it's always good when you get projects, getting together like this, bouncing ideas off. But we're just about at the hour, guys. I'll let everybody, get back to their night and Nikos to get to bed. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For anybody who's listening, check these guys out. LiteCash, they are the real deal. Please listen to the recording of this AMA, and you'll get a lot of great information. And we had a great discussion for sure. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure.
Awesome. We'll do it
Definitely
again soon.
a pleasure. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
EJ, Nikos, thanks for joining us. Griffin, Miss Bones, Tevin, Cleo, Chubbs, you do a great job, and I'll talk with you guys again shortly.
Absolutely. Everyone enjoy their night.
All right. Bye, guys.
Cheers.